All right, I want to talk real quick about section 8.17 as well. It's likely that you know or are familiar with these lines of symmetry, but I want to talk about it real quick anyway. All right, let's talk about symmetry real quick. Symmetry simply means when you divide a figure in half, the halves are congruent. So quite simply, if I take something like, now this is going to look terrible, I promise. If I draw something like a heart, oops, I can draw a line of symmetry down it like this, where I can see that if I were to fold that shape over in half, that both would be symmetries, both would be congruent. And that means I have a line of symmetry here. However, I do not have a line of symmetry on my heart if I were to draw the line here. Both of those halves are not symmetrical. However, we say that it does simply because it has at least one line of symmetry. Now, some shapes can have more than one. They can have 2 or 4 or 8, or even an infinite number of lines of symmetry, like a circle would have. Because if I drew a circle, no matter where I drew my line of symmetry, it would always be in half. So it's not particularly meaningful to say that this has an infinite amount of symmetry. But the idea does hold. Now, we have a typical line of symmetry, but we can also have rotational symmetry. So instead of cutting a line through it, it's that we can rotate the figure. It stays congruent. For example, they give this example. I'm going to be terrible at drawing it though. I'll try it. This shape, if I were to put a dot on this side, and I were to do a little bit of rotating into the next spot, I could mark it here, and I can see that if I twist it, it still has the same shape. So this shape does have rotational symmetry. Now, interestingly, it also has traditional symmetry as well, because I can cut it there, I could cut it here, and I could cut it here. But it has rotational symmetry as well. Notice that my heart from earlier does not have rotational symmetry. There's no way that I can spin it where it stays the same. And in this section, they'll be asking you about some of these things, about whether or not they have rotational symmetry or traditional symmetry. And the questions are pretty easy. You're going to be also doing some lines of, they're going to give you a shape. And they're going to say, draw the shape on the other side. And I'm fairly confident that we will all be able to do that just fine. So, good luck. If you get stuck or have a question, please ask for help. Good luck.